Well, if you hurry up, you can use this trend to make money on YouTube without showing face. And why should you listen to me? Well, I do run multiple faceless YouTube automation channels, and even though I know that most people, when they talk about YouTube automation, can't really sit down and show real proof that they're actually making money from different channels, here's some of the proof. This one did also $38,000. On this one, we got about 240 million views. This one got about 100 million views so far, 99,000 subscribers. This channel over here did over $1 million in its lifetime, but in the last 365 days as we stopped uploading, they had only $90,000. This one is doing about $4,000 a month, and the lifetime of this channel is about $309,000. This channel over here did about $4,000 in the last 365 days, and the lifetime of this channel is about $21,000. So there is actually a new trend happening right now, and a lot of people are talking about this event, which is going to happen in July, which is Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, a fight happening this summer. Now, most people make a very bad mistake and never really monetize these trends and never really make money on YouTube without showing their face. So I want to show you how to actually fix that. But first things first, when you go to vidIQ and you search for Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, that's going to show you the overview and the search volume, which is constantly being increased, but the competition for just Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson keyword is very, very high. However, if you go to questions, you can see what kind of questions are people asking when it comes to this event. And this channel in particular has already made over $5,000 off of this event alone by posting these faceless YouTube automation videos. It's called Boxing Zone, and these are the kind of videos they're posting. It's completely faceless. Now, this channel in particular, called Fighter's Corner, is already getting loads and loads of views just off of this fight alone. And if you go to their view stats, you can see that they're making up to $57,000 a month just from ad revenue alone. But as we talked about previously, that's just one of the ways that you can monetize these faceless YouTube automation channels. And I mean, at this point, you should already know that in order to make money from YouTube ad revenue, you need to be approved into YouTube Partner Program, and you can do that instantly at dfydave.com/monetization, or some of the links in the description. But either way, there's another channel over here that's monetizing this trend right now, and it's called Punch Plan. And according to their view stats, they're doing about $3,000 to $9,000 a month as they just started out, which is pretty insane that people are just growing their YouTube channels off of a single trend. But you have to utilize it properly. Now, if you go over to Google and you search for Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson and you go to the news, you can see that people are kind of talking about this every single day, or at least every few hours. So I made this list of titles that you can cover when it comes to this particular trend, so you can just use these titles to get views right now, and you can pause and you can copy them if you want. But what you would also do is you would go to these guys' Instagram accounts or their social media, because you obviously need some footage to use in these videos. Now you might say, but Dave, they're gonna be mad that I'm using their footage in my YouTube videos, because look at this guy, he's using this and he's still making money. You might say like they are gonna be mad. They're not gonna be mad. You're literally helping them promote the fight, so you can actually monetize this, and they are gonna be very happy and thankful that you're doing so. Now, if you go to these guys' Instagram accounts and you go to the post they're sharing, if you go to, for example, to their reels, you can just take this, you can copy the URL, the link that takes people to these reels, and then you will go to Snap Insta app. This is the app that will allow you to download this from Instagram, and there is a YouTube app as well if you want to download videos from YouTube. You will close this, you will click on the download video, and here's the first part that you can use. This is a first footage for my faceless YouTube automation video. Now, when it comes to the speech and the actual voiceover, you can just go to 11 Labs, which actually has very, very high quality voiceovers right now. So you will just have to find something that's kind of more hypey, because you want to hype up the fight. There's news, there's trends, there's drama. So you obviously want to find such voice. You're not going to use like professional voices. So you would just have to scroll through these and just find something. I'm going to use Kelly. Let's say, for example, I'm use Kelly, and then let's say I wrote a script inside of Google Docs, and I'm going to go, most people don't realize this about Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight. And I'm going to copy that. Let's say that's like part of my script, even though it's obviously not, it's just the title. But I'm going to click on generate speech, and now the AI voiceover called 11 Labs will actually generate that voiceover for me. So let's listen to it together. It's really, really fast. It was almost instant. So let's see if it was good or not.
Most people don't realize this about Jake Paul VS Mike Tyson fight.
I don't like that. I don't like this voice, and it also read it as VS. So let's go versus, and let's change the voice. This one kind of sounded robotic. So you have to play around until you find a really good one that actually sounds natural, because especially when people are watching these kinds of videos, they're not gonna stick if they see a robotic script and a ChatGPT like script and then a robot voiceover. It doesn't really work. So let's go with Natasha, for example. She has a sassy voice, so let's actually generate speech
Most
with.
people don't realize this about Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight.
This is actually a little bit better. Perhaps I would assume that if the script was longer, the voiceover would actually be higher quality and it would sound less robotic. So we'll just download that kind of voiceover. Now you can edit these videos inside of a free tool such as CapCut. So you basically just create an account for completely free. You start a new video project and you can just upload the footage which you've downloaded using Snap Insta or similar free apps that allow you to download videos from social media. Now I would also upload something as a background to make it more engaging, and then when I click on that reel that I've downloaded, this is how it can start off, as you can see. So we have something in the background happening, and I also downloaded this like paper effect from YouTube. So I just searched for it on YouTube and then just downloaded it. It's copyright free. And for the captions, you can just go to the captions on the left hand side, and this is really important. You do want to have captions showing up on the screen because it's going to make it more engaging, especially if you think about the target audience of these videos. This is mostly watched by people who are also on TikTok as well, and they watch a lot of short form content. So they are not going to be there if it's like boring and slow. It has to be fast paced. Things have to be moving on the screen. I like the bounce effect. This is the animation that I usually use, as you can see. So now we also have some captions, and let's actually change the font. I don't really like this one, so I would just select something that's more punchy and it's like easier to read on the screen. I usually have Montserrat. I usually use Montserrat. I would also maybe add some stroke so that the text can be distinguished from the background, and maybe even some shadow, like why not? And let's see how the video looks like so far.
My brother broke the news of him having a baby.
Alright, so now I could also add some logos on the left hand side and the right hand side, so you can just play around and then you can cut it fast, and then you can add more videos until the actual footage is over 8 minutes long, because that will allow you to add more ads and monetize the video better. And you can just export this directly to your YouTube channel as well, or you can just download it to your device. Just click on download and download it in the highest possible resolution and just export as MP4 file. Now for the thumbnails of these YouTube videos, you can see that these are mostly just taken as shots from these interviews that these guys are doing. So what you can do is you can just find one of these interviews, but there is a catch. If you just find an interview like this and then you just screenshot part of the interview, it's gonna be very low quality, and low quality thumbnails don't perform very well. So let's say I'm gonna use this one as an example. I'm gonna use this shot. I'm basically just going to take a screenshot. I'm then going to use this AI tool called the Restore Photos, which will allow you to upscale the quality of the photo. And now you can kind of just download the Restore Photo. And if you have a Face app, then I recommend you just transfer it to your phone if you have like an app on your phone. And then here I can kind of make him like more upset, or I can just change his expressions, like I can make him smile or whatsoever. I can just choose from these, and let's say I'm gonna go with this one, and I'm gonna apply, and it's gonna change like the entire face for me. Is it loading? Let's go back to the smiles. Let's say I just wanna make him upset, or I wanna make sure that he's actually smiling here. Let's see how that goes. As you can see, here's a smile now. And you can kind of change the expressions to match the actual video. I'm gonna make him upset in this case, and then I'm gonna save it, and I'm gonna airdrop it back to my laptop. Now you can either go to photopia.com, which is a Photoshop alternative. So if you have Photoshop skills but you don't want to pay for Photoshop, you can use that, or you can also just use Canva, which is more beginner friendly. Then you can also brightening up, because that's very important. You want to make sure that all of your thumbnails are super bright and colorful. So I would just pump the brightness somewhere around here. Well, it still looks natural. And on the left hand side, I can start adding text. I would then play around with the font and colors, and I would increase the size. It's also very important that your text and the elements are huge. And if you're using text, make sure it's only up to 3 words long. You really want to keep it simple so that people are not confused and can actually read it. And if it mixes with the background, what I do is I go to the elements and I search for gradient, and then I just add some gradient at the bottom, and now it's going to be kind of easier to read this. So here's the thumbnail that I just made in Canva. Now I can just click download and download as a PNG file for highest quality and just upload it. Now again, do remember that in order to make money from these faceless YouTube automation videos, your channel needs to be approved for partner program, and you can do so at dfmydave.com/monetization or the first link in the description box down below.